Hello guys, and today we continue our lessons of the Russian geography where we discover more about the locations there based on the destructions of military bases. And today we will travel after the brave Ukrainian drones first to the port of Novorossiysk located in Krasnodar Krai, and now this is the center of the Russian Black Sea Fleet after it had to escape from Crimea. A very important fact that people should not forget how Ukraine made Russian Black Sea Fleet escape the peninsula. Then the other location is a military airbase Dyagilevo in Ryazan region, where lots of Russian TUs are located, and specifically Tu-22M3, which is often used to target cheap, bad Russian X missiles that are very inaccurate. They can actually lose the course and thus make it worse for Ukrainian infrastructure and Ukrainian civilians. And today our drones even visited Grozny, which is the capital of the People's Republic of Chechnya that one day will become independent after the collapse of Russia. But right now it is controlled by a hilarious so-called leader, Kadyrov. So let's discuss all of this important geography materials provided by the Ukrainian armed forces. My name is Anna, I'm from Ukraine, I'm in Ukraine, and if you want to see the demilitarization of Russia that continues and also protect yourself against evil narratives and hybrid warfare, I'm sure you've heard about the Russian ship targeting at the German helicopter in the Baltics. So if you want to protect yourself about various technologies they already use against you, subscribe. We discuss all of that on the channel. And let's start with maybe my favorite location, and that is the port of Novorossiysk. Not only because Ukrainian drones are capable of reaching this location and because this is a place where lots of Russian missile carriers ships are located, but because this is an illustration that Russia can be defeated and made retreat to its own territory. Right now, the majority of the leftovers, I have to say, of the Russian Black Sea Fleet is hiding in Novorossiysk, where it exactly belongs. For too long, many of the Russian ships were located in Crimea. It was a great mistake after the collapse of the Soviet Union, and it was one of the reasons of people's dissatisfaction with Yanukovych regime, because literally right now there's so much disinformation about coups and other stuff, when despite the Ukrainian constitution, despite the desire of Ukrainian people, Yanukovych decided to rent Crimea to Moscow Black Sea Fleet for up to 2042 or something like that. And that was one of the reasons for the fast annexation of the peninsula. So with the work of inexpensive Ukrainian drones, and here I want to remind you that we are really good at designing, developing, upgrading them, and we are actually the authors of the first marine drones that did a lot of job in upgrading Russian warships to submarines and other crap. So this was the reason why they had to flee the peninsula, and right now we don't need a grain deal, and that's the best way to negotiate with Russia, by defeating and demilitarizing them. So it was loud in Novorossiysk, and it was also loud in Ryazan. Ryazan is another region of the Russian Federation, sometimes visited by the Ukrainian drones, and I have to remind you that right now a lot of Russian regions are an active war zone. And it's not only about Kursk, where Ukrainian soldiers control a lot of settlements and North Korean soldiers invited to back up a huge army of Russia fail, but I'm speaking about Bryansk, Belgorod, Lipetsk, Krasnodar, Ryazan, Voronezh, I can enumerate a lot of this district. So in Ryazan, there is a military airbase Dyagilevo that is home for the evil Russian TUs. There are many of that TUs, but one of them, Tu-22M3, is an X missile carrier, and Russia now uses a lot of North Korean missiles to kill Ukrainians. They are of bad quality. I cannot say good in this context, but you can guess. And they also have a lot of bad Russian missiles, which were actually not intended for the purposes that they perform right now. And in reality, we may not say that they target anything, because literally they can have this very different, very serious distortion. And by making Russia poor in these tools and X missiles, we actually save a lot of Ukrainian lives. And you know, I am actually very angry that when you scroll Twitter, when you scroll Facebook, when you read the news, when you watch TV shows, you have a lot of foreign people who have never been to Ukraine speaking about the nuclear escalation and forgetting about like daily destructions and crimes that Russia commits. And not just in Ukraine, in Georgia, in Moldova, fake elections in Romania with TikTok. There are so many signs. And insane people are waiting for the huge nuclear warhead coming in their direction, when in reality, this is the war of the 21st century and it's totally different, and it is already happening. It is already happening when Russia targets a German helicopter in the waters of the Baltic Sea. What are they doing there? Perhaps ruining another cable for the internet connection. It was interesting to read how many European countries, and I'm sure American countries, could have reported the same. How many different attacks on the infrastructure, on people in your countries were conducted by Russia only in 2024. Only in 2024. And somehow the world accepted and keeps speaking about, well, should we keep supporting Ukraine? And my question, do we need to defeat Russia? Do you think it's okay if a country responsible for so many troubles, literally in every corner of the world, remains unpunished? And I was actually very happy to see the speech of the UK Foreign Secretary today, where he spoke about this mafia state and mafia dictator, and the only way to end it is to end Putin's regime. Please share these videos on your social media platforms, because there is too much. Tucker Carlson interviewing Lavrov and Rogan speaking about things he does not understand. By the way, I wonder why didn't he accept the invitation of Klitschko, who is a world champion, boxing champion, and a very famous globally person, and might be the first Ukrainian. So don't you think it's logical to speak about Ukraine with Ukrainians? And Ukrainians decided to send a message to Kadyrov, who is Putin's representative in Chechnya. I cannot say he's a leader, he's a puppet. He is the TikTok army boss, a totally criminal personality, I'm sure despised by his people. Chechnya is a brave country that was invaded by Russia. At first they lost the first Chechen war, Moscow, and then they applied traditional scorched earth technologies and destroyed the independence of this country, but I'm sure it will return back after the collapse of the Kremlin. And don't be afraid, Kadyrov will not remain controlling the nuclear weapons, because Kadyrov will disappear the second Putin disappears. And Ukrainian drones loudly landed on the roof of the special services police there, and actually this police performs lots of illegal orders, both of Putin and Kadyrov. He was super angry, perhaps recorded a number of videos, and that's it. And we have to do a lot of more important things, like neutralizing Russian military bases, Russian ammunition depots, and, oh my God, still fighting Russian disinformation. Please help me do that. Subscribe. Also help us provide more materials for the Russian geography lessons and support the NEFO campaign, which is less than 10% left, and we will do an amazing job to support the bravest and the best of us. And And I'm very grateful that you are with me on this road. Join me on X, I'm fighting there, on Blue Sky, on Threads, on Instagram, and now a beautiful Discord community. Check the merch shop. There are lots of good items that work well as reminders and conversation starters about Ukraine. And Christmas presents, by the way, beautifully designed and with meaning and love. And most importantly, thank you for your continued advice, for the comments that you leave, for the videos that you share, for buying me coffees, becoming my patrons and sponsors of the channel, and trying to save this world, because that's what we do with our community. Slava Ukraini!